So, good morning, Cheng 400, Section 2, Engineering Ethics, University of Bahrain College of Engineering, Department of Chemical Engineering, Semester 1, 21-22. Today is 7th of December. I will continue discussing Chapter 5. I think today, maximum, by next lecture, we're going to finish Chapter 5. And this will leave you, will make you start, or will lead to starting the new chapter, which is chapter 6. Again, as a quick reminder, at Saturday at 11, you will be having your quiz 4 on chapter 4. So, on a blackboard, of course. It will be 10 minutes maximum. One question, as we are used to. Okay. I'll start the lecture now, then we'll complete the presentation. Okay, we came to this slide, or we reached this slide, which was, we said that we are going to discuss, because we were discussing safety and risk and accident. And we said, how can we, through good calculation of risk and having safe design, how can we avoid accident? Different types of accident. We'll be discussing this. The case which we are discussing today, it's called Kursk submarine. Kursk submarine, it happened sometime back in year 2000, August 2000. It was a Russian Navy submarine that sank, and everyone were killed because of bad safety precautionary analysis and risk assessment. What happened in the submarine, it's all written here and you have it in your book. I'll just try to explain it to you. It says simply that the submarine, Ghawasa submarine, normally the way it's locked, the way it's work, the submarine, it's that the crew, they go into the submarine and it go below the blue water. In case of any emergencies, because of any emergency, there is a kind of capsule. It's like a small closed boat, you can call it, but we call it capsule, مثل الكبسولة احنا نسميها يعني حتى بالعربي. They step themselves, or they lock themselves into the capsule, and by pressure they just throw themselves out from the submarine, and then that capsule, by releasing pressure, it will float and come to the water surface. Simply, this is the idea of rescuing a crew of submarine. What happened? There was an explosion in the torpedo في خلينا نقول في غرفة المضخات أو engines في السبمارين. There was an explosion and they could not control the explosion, but luckily nobody were hurt. So all the crew whom they were on submarine, on that Russian submarine, they straight away they went into this capsule, and they locked themselves into in the capsule so that they can save themselves when they float out from the submarine. But once they lock themselves inside, and due to the high pressure, it was locked, and it is a very confined place. يعني مكان يكون صغير ومحكوم. Due to the rush and without taking the precaution and without checking the safety of that capsule, it tend to be that capsule were never tested. It tend to be that capsule did not go to under the safety inspection. So the crew, they were you can say they were saved out from the explosion, but unfortunately they could not make it because of that capsule bad safety, let's say, arrangement. Why? Because they were locked inside and they could not come out from the capsule. They were all suffocated. يعني نجوا من الاكسبلوجن لكن اختنقوا في الكبسول because of the safety and the bad risk assessment. So that was, you can search about the case also on the net. You will have all the details and also it's written in your book. We have another issue or another topic, and whenever you assess your design as an engineer, we call it risk-benefit analysis. We have cost-benefit, if you remember, last lecture we were talking about cost-benefit. Now risk-benefit, it's again another tool where we will check our design with respect to the risk and benefit, safety and risk. And we will check under which category our design fell. It needs good analysis, it's good knowledge and good, let's say, experience, because you can't assess things which did not happen yet. Let's say your design was new. How would you say that what kind of risk, unless you really know what you are talking about and what is your design is going to go through, and how much would it cost? Because when we say risk-benefit analysis, we are talking about money. So for here, I would say that this is an ethical, although it's not an easy. For example, I will find the relationship between safety and risk by simply assuming that this is a chart. If my design fell in the first box, I will say that if this is the safety and this is the risk, it means it is high safety and high risk. High safety and high risk, it means high cost and high price. For example, nuclear plant, aircraft, missiles. If my design fell under in this category, it will be low safety, but high risk. Low safety and high risk, low cost, but still high price. For example, automobile. If you are talking about high safety, low risk, it means high cost, medium price. For example, electrical product, safety valve. And the last one is low safety and low risk. It means you're talking about low cost and low price. So always you're talking about how much does it cost and what price I need to pay. In case if I would like to have a safe and with minimum risk in order to avoid accidents. This is what you are trying to say in here. So this is why it's need a bit of calculation, a bit of probability analysis. For example, I would say probability of safety, it is as such, it is 100%, which is 1 minus probability of risk, which the risk is probability of occurrence multiplied by consequence in magnitude. Again, if it did not happen, I need to do an assumption. I have to work on an assumption. But if it was an old design which faced some problem, maybe the life will be much easier. Then we start plotting. If you are studying or you are specialized in quality and safety or risk assessment, then you start plotting your assumption with respect of safety and risk itself, and you try to always to be in the area that you avoid both. As if you remember, this is the threshold. Anything more than this, the risk is involved. Anything more than this, it means benefit or safety is involved. I'll try to maintain my position. Next time, inshallah, when I see you, we'll be talking about accident, types of accident, values of accident, which type of accident favorable or acceptable, which type of accident need to be avoided, and so on. I'll stop in here. We'll try to finish the presentation, all of your presentation, if we could today, because your group is quite big, so this is why we have to finish it. But before of this, let me take the attendance first. Ali Yusuf موجود؟
نعم دكتورة.
اوكي. علي presentation اليوم بتسوي؟
اوكي.
يلا ستريت اوي عقب هذا. آلاء طبعا ما حد. أحمد محمد موجود؟
نعم دكتورة.
اوكي. أنت بتكون عقب علي.
تمام.
آيات again ما حد. إبراهيم خليل؟
نعم دكتور.
بتكون ثالث. علي أحمد؟ اوكي. شموس؟
نعم دكتورة.
ناريمان سوري.
Yes doctor.
أديل؟
Yes doctor.
أحمد حمود؟
Yes دكتور.
اوكي. بشرى؟
Yes doctor.
أعتقد مرة كنا وقفنا عند بشرى صح؟
صح.
ايه عدل. عاد نبتدي ببشرى. سوري علي يوسف، نبتدي ببشرى. اوكي. فاطمة عبد الغني؟
نعم.
اوكي. مريم ناجم؟
Yes doctor.
مريم قحطاني؟
Yes doctor.
علي ياسر؟ نرمين؟
Yes doctor.
دكتورة ناديتيني علي.
علي ياسر؟ اوكي.
نعم.
أوكي. سعاد؟
Yes doctor.
هدى؟ اوكي. يلا بشرى share your screen. go ahead.
Doctor, please, before sharing my screen, regarding today's lecture, يعني شفنا فيهم أسئلة من الترو والفولز مال midterm، يعني واجد أسئلة تكررت من هالمحتوى وما كان مطلوب يعني في المidterm.
إيه دكتورة، أول سؤال كان عن الريسك and benefit في الميدتيرم في الترو فولس، فإحنا تونا ناخذونه الحين.
دكتورة عن الريسك والبنفيت analysis.
مال أي مترمكم قصدك أوه سوري قصدكم؟
إيه
دكتورة
مثل
الفولس أغلبهم يعني كان أعتقد يعني من ضمن chapter 5.
خلينا تشوفهم. هو شوفوا هو الريسك بنفيت اناليسيس هذه درستوه ككونسبت هني في شابتر 5، بس احنا كنا دارسين كوست بنفيت اناليسيس هناك، وكنا ماخذين ان جنرال سبيكينج يعني جنرال، يعني واحنا نتحكى عن الاثكس كنا نتحكى عن الريسك، كنا نتحكى عن السيف ديزاين، كنا نتحكى عن this kind of thing يعني. It is a kind of general assessment، ولذلك تتذكرون كنت أقول لكم don't memorize، لا تحفظون. هو المفروض أن أنتم تفهمون الكونسبت. الحين بغض النظر أنتم خذيتوه في chapter 1، ماخذينه في chapter 5، ماخذينه في chapter 4، ف you can analyze it، خصوصا في ال NSPE Code of Ethics. أنا بشوف الأوراق خصوصا في ال NSPE Code of Ethics it's cover everything يعني، ولذلك كنت تذكرون كنت أقول لكم في chapter 2 بالكود اوف اثكس تقريبا خلاص خذيتوا الكونتنت كله، يعني مجرد نتوسع اكثر في chapter 3، نتوسع اكثر في chapter 4، نتوسع اكثر في chapter 5 و 6. That's all what we are going to do. لكن في NSPE Code of Ethics في الكيس ستدي تحكينا عن الريسك، تحكينا عن السيفتي، تحكينا عن خلينا نقول accident، تحكينا عن مثلا unfaithfulness، conflict of interest. All of this are part of the case studies. يعني it's not a matter of يعني ايه اذا كنت جايبت لكم مثلا التيبل او الشارت اللي الحين راويتكم اياه، يمكن بتقولون هذه اوريدي ماخوذ من الشابتر نفسه. أو مثلا التable نفسه أو to define something which already يعني this is the idea of ethics to be honest. But again I will look at it, don't worry.
دكتورة لأن يعني كانوا غير مألوفين يعني الأسئلة بالنسبة حقنا يفوكسون يعني على هاي البارت بس يعني اللي تشوفينه دكتورة مو مشكلة.
I will look at it, don't worry. يلا share your screen بشرى. Yes, I can see your screen. Yeah, go ahead, Bushra.
Bushra, you are muted.
Bushra, are you speaking?
Yeah, sorry, نسيت mute.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Hello everyone, I'm Bushra Al-Khalaf and today I'm going to present a real-life engineering ethical case study. In our daily lives, we face many situations that let us raise several questions of whether the act we made was ethical or unethical, was it proper and free of aggressive or not, and self-blaming starts taking place. Such a situation happened to my 22-year-old sister when she was about to graduate from her 4th year of computer engineering at the University of Bahrain. She was in a group with 2 colleagues, colleague A and colleague B, and my sister was the group leader of the project. Their graduation project was about designing and programming a robot. However, after 6 months of hard working, the robot is successfully built, and the department was so happy and proud of the robot original concept, and they decided to award them for their idea, as well as the Bahrain newspaper published their photos, which led them being invited to attend a conference in Dubai to present their graduation project. They were very excited, but unfortunately after a few days from the conference date, my sister had an accident, so her doctor told her that she will not be able to go to the conference and present. But my sister, as a group leader, she invited colleague A and colleague B, telling them that they can go and present the graduation project in Dubai. However, both refused to go. Then the group leader, which is my sister, and colleague A was shocked that colleague B did already went to the conference and presented their graduation project under her name only, without including their names and without taking their permission. So after the group leader known about colleague B's action, she talked to her, forcing her to include their names in the presentation and to share the money reward she got. So from the previous story, we can...
Who was the supervisor here?
A doctor in the University of...
Yeah, I know, but the team, the real team leader or supervisor is the supervisor. So she should be the one who's to become the referee. يعني ما أدري يعني وين الخطأ صار، يعني على أي أساس الكونفرنس هناك يقبلون طلبة يجون بدون ما يكون في عندهم recommendation من السوبرفايزر
بعد التخرج.
إيه، حتى لو بعد التخرج لما عرفت إن الموضوع صار بهالطريقة، إيه هي ترفع الموضوع حق مجلس الجامعة، حق المجلس حق الكونفرنس نفسه أصلاً.
دكتورة بس يعني بعدين يعني.
إيه، فهو بيكون في النهاية يعني the conference board يشوفون أن unethical practices احتمال حتى نفس هذا الشخص اللي ادعت إن هي ماخذة ذي الأكشن يكون إن she will not be given the reward actually. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. After discussing the previous story, 3 main questions will be arised, and you can state yours as well. What the first question is, was it ethical for colleague B to present the graduation project without the permission of rest members? The second question is, was it ethical for colleague B to not include the whole member's name in her presentation, the conference? And the last question is, was it ethical for the group leader to force colleague B including their names and to share the reward? So keep these 3 questions in mind because we're gonna answer them at the end of this presentation. After raising all these questions, and in order to have a proper answer, we need a proper guidance. So our guidance will be by referring to the NSPE Codes of Ethics. Before moving to the Codes of Ethics, a summary of the most important facts mentioned must be first done. The first fact is that all group members work hardly for completing the project. The second fact is all group members were invited to present their graduation project in Dubai. The third fact is colleague B, without the permission of the group leader, and colleague E traveled to Dubai and presented the graduation project, including her name only. The fourth fact is colleague B took the reward money for herself without sharing it with the group leader and colleague A. The first code of ethics is Roman 2:3a, which states that engineers shall issue public statements in an objective and truthful manner, and engineers shall be objective and truthful in professional reports, statements, and testimonies. So, so colleague B wasn't truthful and objective in her presentation for not including all members' name and all the participant name in her project. The second code of ethics is Roman 3:1a. Engineers shall acknowledge their errors and shall not distort or alter the facts. So colleague B wasn't truthful again, and instead she stuck to her mistake, and she did not corrected it by adding all participant information and the facts in her presentation. So she waited until the group leader and colleague A forced her to do so. The third code of ethics is Roman 3:9a. Engineers shall, whenever possible, name the person or persons who may be individually responsible for designs. So colleague B should have just put a statement in her presentation mentioning that she was the only participant and the only member who could have attended, and she's the only one who was responsible for the whole presentation, instead of hiding the facts. So after discussing all codes of ethics, we can clearly see that it was unethical for colleague B to present the graduation project without the permission of rest members, and it was unethical for colleague B to not include the whole member's name in her presentation, the conference. Finally, it was ethical for the group leader to force colleague B including their name and share the reward, since they all worked hardly for this project. And thank you all for listening. Looking forward for your questions.
Very interesting. إذا في النهاية شنو وزعوا الهدية والجائزة ولا لا؟
في النهاية قام يعني مثل ما قلتي إن السوبرفايزر مال الجامعة اللي كان مشرف يعني لما درب الموضوع إنه يعني كلمها وكذي يعني بعد صار
صدق فضيحة صراحة في شيء ده. And she was given also?
شلون؟
She was given حتى هذه هي بروحها بعد أعطوها جزء من الجائزة بعد؟
إيه، لأن كان في بعض من المصاريف يعني ما كانت تتحملها هناك يعني في الكونفرنس، فهم يعني بنفسهم اللي في أختي يعني وصديقتها اللي في الجروب هم يعني قالوا إن خلي تاخذ أصلا الجزء الأكبر لأن في مصاريف فيه بروحها بعد غطتها.
So embarrassing, and it's a very unethical situation, to be honest. I don't know how she's going to live with this kind of practice. It will be with her till end of her life. She was so greedy, actually. Thank you very much. Very interesting case, Bushra. Thank you. Well done.
Thank you, doctor.
You're welcome. قلنا الحين علي صح؟ علي يوسف. علي موجود؟
نعم بس
يلا go ahead. Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, بس بشغل كاميرا. Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ali Youssef, and today we will be presenting a real-life engineering ethical case study. This is an experience that happened to me during my summer internship, where I worked in a well-known company. It's an international company, and it's a very famous company, but I will not be mentioning any names. During one morning, a worker was just doing his job of resin pumping to create a panel, and the tube burst out and splashed the resin all over his face. This was mainly due to lack of maintenance. So we'll be talking about the facts. The workers rushed to rescue him with some clueless what to do exactly. One of the engineers rushed to grab an eye wash solution and started pouring it into the eyes of the worker while keeping them wide open and peeled upwards. After he calmed down, he was advised to be taken to healthcare center, but that didn't happen as he was not having a working visa. Health and safety employees came to report the incident. The employee was left to take a rest and recover. After 2 days, I noticed he was still suffering and he didn't recover yet. I doubt he would recover from that incident. So, what makes me more upset is that he didn't receive any compensation nor any proper medical attention. To top off, he was forced to stay overtime to finish the daily plan. Moreover, the employees weren't paid their salaries for 3 months. And in the coming days, he was also exposed to another dangerous incident that he almost lost his life, which was again due to lack of maintenance. To sum up, the worker almost lost his sight and eye as they were all red and burning. And there was no eye wash or eye washer in the factory. The worker was just doing his job and was standing nearby, so it was not his fault. And the main cause was because the rubber cap was old and worn instead of using a metal one, and a new one instead of the old one. From the given facts, we can see that the incident was due to lack of maintenance and carelessness by the company, and not putting workers' welfare first and foremost. And for engineers, it is known that health safety is the #1 priority. And based on the NSPE Fundamental Code of Ethics, we can see that it says hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public, and also conduct themselves honorably, responsibly, ethically, and lawfully, so to enhance the honor, reputation, and usefulness of the profession, which didn't happen in this case for the company. And using the Code of Ethics, Roman 2, #1, engineers shall hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public. And 1A, which says if engineers' judgment is overruled under circumstances that endanger life or property, they should notify the employer or client and such authorities as may be appropriate. And the Roman 3:2a says engineers are encouraged to participate in civic affairs, career guidance for youth, and work for advancements of the safety, health, and well-being of the community. My recommendations for the company is to get new equipment instead of the old one, and to have the safety measures ready and set in place, and to have an emergency plan for the emergencies, and to train the employees and to aware them of health and safety issues. Obligations of the company. They have to give compensation to the affected worker. They have to offer proper medical attention to him. They have to supply the safety and emergency items in the factory. They have to get a working visa for the employees. And they have to also report the incident and make sure it doesn't happen again. So in conclusion, the act was unethical and is unacceptable. Thank you for listening. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Very interesting. This is strange. To get a very reputed company, صح?
Yeah, it's برضو يعني مقرها في البحرين, it's based in Bahrain, but it's a international company that's one of the major producers and the top of what they're making. يعني.
It's strange that they have this kind of worker that they don't have job permit.
يعني it was very shocking place.
It is a shocking, exactly, yes. And Mariam, I think you raised your hand. I think, do you have a question?
Yes, Mariam, go ahead.
لا
I cannot see the
presentation.
اوكي اوكي هكا بشرى قاعد صفق لك بعدك.
مشكورين يعطيكم العافية.
Well, very interesting. Very interesting. So this is the idea of this assignment, to be honest, to hear what's happening in real life, honestly speaking. It's not a matter of how fancy is your presentation or how much you could use the strong English. In a very simple English, in a very simple way, easy way, how can I speak to others? It could be my friend or something happened to me, so I can tell the others the fact at what I've learned in ethics, and how can I reflect like the way you just did. There was a kind of reflection. I like the way you did it now. You did a kind of reflection. I think this should be done, this should be done. It's not a matter of 1, 2, 3 or memorizing or reading the slide as such. I'm reading crossword. كأنا قاعد بعضكم البرزنتيشن سكيل عندهم كأن قاعدين يقرون كلمات متقاطعة وكأن السلايدات مو هم اللي كاتبينها، حتى الكلمات اللي مكتوبة ما يقرونها عدل أصلا. all of this assignment is teaching you presentation skills. It's teaching you how to be confident, how to face the camera, how can you interact, how can you reflect. All of this is important, and most important, what is happening in real life. You are going to graduate soon, inshallah, and you should know that there are a lot of things, dirty things happening outside, shocking practices happening outside, unethical practices happening outside. It's how can I, as a junior graduate engineer, how can I protect my reputation from day one after graduation? Thank you very much, Ali. Well done.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yes.
Yes, Bushra.
You're welcome. Yes, Bushra, go ahead.
لا دكتورة، ما مو على presentation ماله، موضوع مختلف. دكتورة، بخصوص الكاميرا ما أدري شلون يطلع، بس لأن الكاميرا مالتي صايرة تحت في اللابتوب في البرزنتيشن، المفروض أطالع فوق في الخط.
لا كنت حلوة أوكي. الله يحفظكم إن شاء الله. Thank you very much. Okay, I think who's next now? أحمد الحين أعتقد.
Yes. I'm supposed to be next. دكتورة عادين I present next lecture because I haven't prepared well for the presentation.
لا once I called your name خلاص this is your chance, this is the opportunity. إذا فتحنا الباب حق هالموضوع ما بنخلص. وبعدين ما قاعدة تشوف البرزنت، ما قاعدة تشوف your slide. أنت سلمت أحمد؟
إيه دكتورة.
ما طرش لي إياه الحين، طرش لي على التيمز لأن ما قاعدة أشوف المساء، قاعدة أدوره ما قاعدة أشوفه.
أحمد كنت سلمت في assignment format لا.
شنو يعني حاط على اسم أسامي الأيقون؟
لا هو حطه في مكان assignment form.
أوكي خلينا نشوف.
دكتورة. I sent you on Teams.
انزين أنا ما قاعد أدورك. يلا أحمد go ahead. Okay, I got it. Yes, I can see your screen now.
Okay, can you see me دكتور بعد؟
الحين ما شفنا طلعتك البهية.
I don't know, it's not the camera is not actually proper.
أنت ما فاتح الكاميرا الحين.
Okay, can you see me now, doctor?
Yes, very well.
Okay. Can you see my screen also, doctor?
No. الحين share your screen or your presentation automatically will be minimized بعدين هو بيطلع.
دكتورة لما اسوي شير حق السكرين مالي تصك الكاميرا.
زي يلا مو مشكلة، هنبتدي البرزنتيشن. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, you may start.
Okay. So I'm Ahmed El Samahiji and I will be presenting a real-life engineering case. So in this case, there were residents in a building, and the apartment owner had a problem with the residents because they have thought that there were structural faults in the building, and after speaking with the owner, he refused to show any of لهم الخرائط اللي بدأ فيهم الbuilding. Anyway, so it was a problem related to the اللي هو التشطيب. Okay, and so yeah, the residents tried to talk with the owner in order to fix these problems because they had risks of safety on them. And so after they talked to him, he also refused to do anything about it. And so they sued the owner. Okay. And when they sued the owner by the authority, it was required from the owner to hire an engineer to make a study on the building and submit a report about the structural flaws, whether it's there or not, and whether it holds any risks on the residents' lives or not. And so the engineer, we'll call him Engineer Z, he does his testimony on the building and he detects the major structural flaws, okay? And he seems to believe that this structural flaws holds high risks on the residents' safety. And the lawyer of the owner, okay, spoke to the engineer and told him that to keep the informations confidential and to not disclose this to the authority, nor tell the residents about it, okay, and just tell them that everything he've tested went well and that there are no risks to be held on the residents. Analyzement of the ethical issue. So Engineer Z keeps his knowledge about the testimony he made because the lawyer who was hired by the owner told him to keep it confidential. This is in favor of the owner because he doesn't want to make any changes that will cost him a lot of money. And but you know, as engineers, we hold the responsibility and to protect the public health and safety. And although Engineer Z knew about these ethical manners that he should have done, he keeps the informations confidential and not disclose them neither to the authority and neither to the residents. And so using this NSPE Code of Ethics, we will come into discussion and conclusion at the end. So using Roman 2, number 1, part A, it states that if engineer's judgment is overruled under circumstances that endanger life or property, they shall notify their employer or client and such other authority as may be appropriate. This is due to the duty to the public, which Engineer Z, by the way, did not do. And in the next NSPE Code of Ethics, it states that engineer shall not reveal facts, data, or information without the prior consent of the client or employer, except as authorized or required by law or this code. And it is obvious that by law, if anything is endangering or carrying a risk on people's lives, it shall be disclosed, whether with the permission of the client or without. So it is recognized by the engineers, as we have said earlier, that the responsibility to hold and preserve the public health and safety at all costs is necessary. And this obligation stems from the idea that engineers, through education, training, and experience, they have a certain degree above عوام الناس. يعني they have the knowledge to test and يعني to also conclude then whether these things are safety or not, and they shall disclose these informations after this their testimony. Okay, and based on the on this discussion, in my opinion, it was unethical for Engineer Z to keep his testimony results confidential in a way that it carries risks on the residents of the building. And so the obligations for Engineer Z was obviously to tell the authorities and also inform the residents because as residents, they're paying rent, and the rents they're paying is based on يعني اتفاق مسبق and we have to get this, we have to get this, everything should be safety and all, and so they should also be put in the picture to make a decision whether they want to stay in this place that carries huge risks on their lives maybe or not. So he should have told both the authorities because at the end they will take with his testimony whether or not this building carries risks on the residents. And he should have told the apartment residents also to get the choice to choose between if they want to stay in this building or not.
يلا أحمد بحثنا قصة طويلة.
Yes, and that's the end of the story actually.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
هاي تصلح بالتايم ستوري ترى.
Sorry for taking so long.
That's okay. Already we run out of time. Thank you very much. مفروض كنا ناخذ إبراهيم خليل. إبراهيم خليك لحق المرة الجاية إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله. Okay. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
شكرا دكتور.
Bye bye.